Hello YouTube, today we're going to be having a little look at Icebox. It is one of the most requested videos for me to do as well, and it's a map I just really love, and I love to play Cypher on it. My playstyle is way different than every other Cypher out there, so let's jump straight into it. Starting here on A site, as we can see, I want to show you a couple of tripwires that are there before the buy barrier. So this trip, for example, is one I've never seen anyone else use.
Yes, this should do.
Is really weird, but it's also a magnificent tripwire. You can also combine it, use tripwires that are close to it.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
And of course you can use these as well. These trips are especially powerful if they're trying to get into the default corner. The moment the buy barrier drops, you can also place them on these corners. I'll show you in a bit.
Yes.
You have the trips around here. Make sure these are not jumpable, so they have to be just below eye height. In theory, you could with perfect timing jump it, but people are not going to try it, especially not into a jump into sight. Also on the trip here, make sure once again on this angle, make sure it's just below eye height.
Oh, this is a nice spot.
If you do it like this, they can also not use this as a crouch. Also a couple of tripwires. Of course, you can use them like this. If you want to use this trip, by the way, I would love to see it played from heaven. Why? If someone hits that tripwire, you can open up the cage and wall bang the box to get the kill. Because most likely what they're going to be doing is if they get hit, they instantly crouch and try and look to shoot the tripwire. So in this position, they will be wall bangable and it's an easy kill for you. Further than that, if they take the rope a lot, you can actually use tripwires along this entire ledge, or the moment the buy barrier drops, you can place them right here. As you see, you can place them right here to catch it, or if you want to be a little bit different, which we all know I am, use it right here. What's going to happen is they're on this, they don't know, they're like, okay, I can go one further, and they instantly hit it. Then it's going to be them really vulnerable to either a wall bang, or if you play hidden on site, you can get this shot off, or if they drop down, you can get this shot on. So use this tripwire as well. Not too often, but it's definitely a good pick. If you want to lock down A site and you know that they're not really pushing A lot, and you want to counter anyone from pushing in without you knowing, even though you're not there, you don't have to look at a camera or whatever. Of course, it's a jet that is able to updraft, but keep that in mind. You can use trips like this. Why like this, you might ask? Is if people are on top of the rafters, they can see that they can't jump. You can actually place them a little bit higher. So you can't jump this angle, but you also can't make the jump to get underneath this. So same from the top angle here. You can't jump this angle. Never mind, you can. They will patch that for sure in the future. So keep in mind, this tripwire is not viable right now, but it will be once this is patched. Just keep your eye out. Try it from time to time when you're in game. It's just a super simple crouch jump. Once you're on, like, you know it's not patched. If you see that you're actually going to glide down trying to get on top of this, you'll see it's patched. It will be patched in the future. You got my word on that. Let's get on to some other weight trips. You can also use tripwires like ankle breakers, like this, maybe even a little bit lower, because they will actually be hidden underneath. And if you go even that little tiny little tad further, you can see that's completely hidden under. So you can use these as like ankle breakers if you play it from screens. So those are basically the tripwires for a site. I have tried a lot of them. I would say these are the ones with success. More than this is not really needed, because you need to be able to get a kill off those trips as well. That's a crucial part. So that is basically it for A site. Let's hop into the next one. For cages on A site, I would say just plop them down anywhere else. There's not really a cage that's better than one another. So if you're playing with tripwires, for example, from here to here, it's best to like cut off that entire angle. So a cage like this would suffice. You could also try and keep it a little bit deeper on the right corner. If you do that, you basically leave an angle that you can hold, or leave it from this so that you can actually hold an angle even though the cage is up and then fall back. But the cages, really, I would give one big piece of advice, and that's just be creative. On the cage, I would say this is a beautiful area to knock off. This is a good cage to knock off as well, because that basically keeps the entire heaven clear, or they have to white swing this, but you can never be peeked from another angle if you're holding this angle, so they won't really expect you too much. Of course, the choke points, you can have cages here to still give you the full control in this angle. Keep in mind they will spam it, and if that drops, you're literally peeking into 5-man. So don't do that too much as well. You can do it in combination with a tripwire. So for example, you have an ankle breaker and you have a cage right here. You open it when you know that they're pushing, you get the kill, and then you fall back to sight, and then you re-peek heaven maybe, or you just hold the angle passively knowing that a teammate has this angle. For cages, once again, be creative. You can throw them down everywhere. There's not one ways. There's not like crazy cages on this site. I do have some for B site, but you'll see those in a minute. Coming up towards the cameras on site, there's a couple that I really love to use. One of them being the camera on this little ledge. This is a camera that's able to be placed before the buy barrier drops. So you can place this on the buy round and you can not give the camera away too soon. If you want to use it on the start of the round, you can do that as well. You can see if people are pushing main, you know, quite fast that it is going to be a full push or not. So you can use that camera. You can always jump on top of this box as well. You can just crouch jump on a long run, or you can go back and you can jump and then attach to the rope, instantly jump again. It's making the jump a little bit more reliable, but once you get the hang of it, it's super easy to do. You can place a camera all the way in the back here. A little trick for you placing the camera as high as possible, by the way, is to place it against the wall. See how far up you can go. The moment it's red, go down a little bit until it's blue, then jump and then place it. That is basically the maximum height. It's an angle, so whenever you jump up, you just take the same angle and it will never go red. So you could place the camera as high up as possible. You could place it like this, a little bit deeper into the right corner, or you can place it a little more aggressive, and that is on the right corner. If you do that, you can actually see the entirety of main and belt. Keep in mind, they will shoot this a little bit faster. If you want to have a real aggressive camera as well, you can also place it right on top of this ledge here. But doing this also means that the enemies will know that you're in this position. So if you place that camera right there, instantly fall back, maybe go towards heaven and play it from here. Because if you have this camera here, there's only one spot where you can place this from, and that is this angle. So they will then double check this angle. You can then see everything on the push. You can see on the close angle. You can see him go up into the nest. You can see him walk out main. These are the cameras that I have. I think they're kind of good. Of course, you can place them anywhere. You can also do little sneaky cameras like the one in the back. Let me show you. All the way up here against the wall as high as possible. This is still going to give you a lot of oversight. What it is going to do is people can walk out this entire angle without you seeing a single one of their foots. You could, in theory, see the footstep right there, but it's going to be a really small gap. So I would suggest not using that one too much, or you have to play like after plan or retakes. I would say if you want to play for retake, still use this camera. Just keep it in that position, and you can then see exactly where they are. If they're playing in behind king, or if they're just playing in nest or under, you can see this corner as well. So this is like a crucial camera to have on the retake if you're not playing A site. So those are the camps on A site. All right, one little aggressive push that you can do as a Cypher. You can actually have it on pistol round. That's where I love to use this strat, is to get one teammate on top of this box right here on generator. Most of the time it's a jet that's able to hover up there super easily, and you get another teammate right next to you. The moment the buy barrier drops, what you're going to do is you're going to attach to the rope and you're going to go all the way into nest, shifting from this position on. If you shift from here on, the silver dart that will land here will not actually ping you. You can get into this corner safely without them hearing or seeing you. But the teammate is super crucial. So the teammate that's going to stand right next to you, what you are expecting from that person is that you jump up and then that teammate goes to pipes. Their goal is not to peek this. Their goal is just to stand here and get pinged by the silver dart. The moment they get pinged, they shoot it and they fall back to sight. You still keep the jet on top of this box so that they actually have the contact there. And the moment this happens, everyone pushing will actually know one thing. And that is, there's an enemy here and there was an enemy on pipes. So their goal is to go in towards sight and take it as hard as they can. So what's so powerful about it? I'll show you in the next clip where it actually happened on stream. No. I want to stay it.
I'm watching mid-cross for now.
I'm pushing you right now. So...
I'm leaving you fade.
Enemy spotted A.
Trick shot.
Oh. I'm healing you.
One enemy remaining.
Oh,
Spike down.
Okay, little strategies to hold middle are quite simple, actually. You can use an aggressive camera here. Instantly checks to see if anyone is here. I would not suggest using it too much. But you also have a little camera that is way further back out of the map. So you line yourself up a little bit like this, jump and place it on top of that snow pile. You can then see the entirety of middle. Only one thing that you need to take care of is the fact that they can actually cross if they have a cross smoke. So I would suggest using tripwires like this or this, whatever you prefer, and get ready to line this one up because this one is beautiful, but it is behind the buy barrier. So you have to line it up basically on this height where it's just on the eye level. I can't really figure out what a lineup for this is, a little below this dot. But you have to wing that a little bit and hope it's on the perfect location. So from here on, you can line it up. Then the moment the buy barrier drops, try and get it in position and place it. So you have the entirety of mid covered. You can see the entire push. The only thing you need to watch out for is the close angle push where they can go. If you want to make sure that that is covered as well, you can actually use a different kind of camera. And I would suggest waiting for the buy barrier to drop again and then place it somewhere here. Why? Because they cannot, without you knowing, they cannot cross this angle and they cannot get into kitchen. So there is no option for them to flank it. So you just hold middle like this and you're just patient to play it. Another little strategy that you can do is actually the moment you're on the buy round still, buy barrier is right here. You can jump up, place the camera as high as possible on this corner. Why in the right corner? I'll tell you in a little bit. We jump up, we come around, we come into kitchen, and then the moment the buy barrier drops, we're going to start walking up. 1, 2, check cam. We're going to get the camera like this. Basically, you're going to check it every second. So 1, check. 1, check. What you're going to do is you're going to slowly creep up, and you're going to get yourself into position like this. Once you're in this position, you just wait. You freeze. Because what happens, you have the entirety of middle covered. They can't go tube. They can't go under. They can't go middle because you have it covered on the camera. The moment you see someone right here, try and tag them. If you miss, you miss. It's fine. Then instantly close it and then get the kill. Why? Because they will be fully focused on shooting the camera. And instead, you're going to be white swinging here. And this is a peak they never expect. If it's only one person, you can then cam that, cage that off aggressively to gain a little bit more ground. And maybe wait it out like this. Then you stop using your camera, stop using your trips. If you do this strategy, by the way, I would not suggest using any tripwires. It's useless. Try and place them on A site. Try and place them maybe on B site. Just to support your team. Let them play off of it. That's a little tip I want to give to people that play Cypher. You don't always have to play with your own trips. You can give them to teammates to play with. So that's a little bit of a mid push that you can do. Cameras here as well. I would suggest if you want to instantly clear the cams, you get into this position and you place them like this. The moment the buy barrier drops, you can see everything on middle. You can see if it's clear or not. You can even push up all the way through just to make sure it's clear. Keep in mind, you need to be shifting here. Otherwise, they can hear you if someone is lurking on B. So you keep it like this. Your moment you see it's clear, you check this corner. You just wait. And you play this angle while the camera is open. That is the smart part. They will not expect you to be here the moment the camera is open. If someone peeks this close angle, you're dead. If you're not fast enough. But you're quite fast on pulling the gun out after the cam, so you can definitely win that fight still. So that's a little trick for middle. That's happened to be. One little thing that I forgot to show you is if you have the tripwire here, you can actually play from the nest on B site. And the moment someone pushes this, you can actually wall bang them. It's a wall made out of paper. So this is why you place it in this position. And you can still hold middle. So you can hold that push and you can kill them the moment they run into that trip. Coming up towards B site, I have a couple of tripwires that are just amazing. A little tip, by the way. These snow patches on the wall are only visible if you're on the graphics quality medium or higher. I believe it's on detail. Right there, you saw them pop off and pop back in. So tripwires you can use on the snow patches are basically these. I really, really love them.
That goes there.
You can put them real far, but keep in mind, the closer you come to this box, the easier they're going to expect a tripwire to be here. So the further away you are, that's the the better it
This
is,
goes here.
because they won't expect the tripwire to be in this position. You can use this tripwire and play it from back yellow with a cage in this position as well. Or you can use it from top side or underside to have a smoke in this position and kill the people running in there. You can also use this tripwire. This is probably one of my favorite, and every time I catch someone this trip, I get that chat comment, "You're a nerd, Cypher. Get alive, touch some grass," all that kind of stuff. It happened. It's always there. And how strong is this trip? Believe me, buddy, it is strong. This tripwire is probably one of the best in the game, and it is just so much fun to catch people with this. I caught content creators as well with it. It's just beautiful. So, other tripwires, a little tip on this edge. This is a bug right now. They changed the depth of this corner, and on the buy round, for some reason, you're not allowed to place tripwires here. So you will have to get out of the buy round the moment it's ended. You can see it. You can place tripwires here again. You can place them around this area. You can place one on the top. You can place them here as well. You can also place them like this for people that are going to be rushing in like this, which a lot of people do. Place them around this area as well. The best way to place them right now is to place right behind this box. If someone pushes up, they're not going to be expecting this tripwire. And if they then want to check it to destroy it, they're behind the box and they can't see it. They have to walk back. That gives you that little extra second to get that kill. Other tripwires that you can do is, for example, one here. It's super default, and you can actually do trips like this. Why would I say trips like this? This entire floor is actually just paper. So if you're here and you know that one is pushing up, you're just able to sit here. You can wallbang through it, but it has to be the right angle. So you have to walk like on top of the person and then wallbang down. If you wallbang from crouched angle, keep in mind you're going to be lower, so the angle is going to be more tilted. And if I stand and shoot in the same position, you can see it's easier to get that wallbang down. So the moment you see that the hole is actually fully black, it's a wallbang. The moment you see that it's a ricochet, it's just a dent. So keep that in mind. You have to look all the way down to get this wallbang kill. So that is for the tripwires. You can also swap this one out. For example, if they catch onto this one, you can use this one instead. Snow patch once again, and once again as well on the video settings. When you're on low, on detail, you can see it. You can't see the snow patch where it's actually on. So keep in mind when doing this, your detail quality needs to be medium, or you need to really remind yourself that it's actually in this position. I've learned it. I play without the details right now, and I just know where the strips are. So it's not too hard for me. Once you get it, it's super easy to do again. That's it for the tripwires. Let's hop straight in towards the cameras. The cameras I like in towards sight is, first of all, this one. Get on top of this box. You get up onto the wall, and you jump back and place it as high as you can. This is going to allow for a camera to see the back of yellow. And if you place it a little further to the right, you can also see this corner. You can see that I just place it a little too far close to this wall. But this means that enemies will not be able to see this camera, and it's super, super easy to get intel without them knowing. So you can actually play retake and guide your team to it while you're still in the camera. Not doing much, but you will give them info. Another camera I really like to do is one right there. This is an angle that's really high up. They hardly really check it. If you don't open your camera while they're already here, they will not check this corner, so they can go on top of the box or anything like that. And you can see them walk out. You know when to peek. So that's a good camera as well. And I like to do this aggressive camera as well, which is, of course, a camera that is able to look into this. You can't see anyone that is actually sitting in the corner here or here that's holding the angle. But you don't have to care about that. You don't have to peek that person. So you could just sit here, wait to see if anyone actually commits to this push, so that they actually go in towards B site. The moment they do, you can actually use your setup and do what you want. You can also do a little trick that I love to do. Keep in mind, if you're playing against a Sova that knows his darts or knows to drone out like your position, it's going to be a little tougher. If the enemy team doesn't have a Sova, do this tactic. It's like, I'm gonna guarantee you get free kills. So you line up against this wall. It doesn't have to be pixel perfect. Just line up against the wall, and then you aim right there in the middle of on top of the black line on the green container. and then on the top of the silver bar, you throw your cage, and where it's going to land, it's going to be right here in the corner. Sometimes it actually pops down in between it. It takes a little longer, but it will still land. So that's no problem. So the moment the buy barrier drops, you open up the cage, you run in, you shift through it, you crouch jump up onto these boxes, and then when you know that no one is here and the cage is dropped, you can open up your camera and you can play this position. What will happen, someone might be able to push up, and your goal is to just wait. The moment someone pushes up, you tag them with a cam. They're going to be like, oh, Cypher has seen me. And they're going to walk back, safe position, and they're going to get that dart out. If they're in this position, you can shoot him, you can peek him. Otherwise, just stay there. You don't have to always get a kill off your dart. So you just wait. You make them think that they have got your camera, that you're blind, you don't know what's going to happen. But they're going to try and walk up. They want to be in that position. So you just wait for them to peek it. The moment they do, you peek one, you instant white swing the second. Or you jump on top of this box to then wait for another peek to happen. Or what you can do is the moment you get one kill, you throw a cage like this, you open it, and you jump into this position. What will happen is they will think that you've dropped and that you've gone. But instead, you're still going to be in this position. Once again, you can use the camera, but I would suggest that, like, if they know your position here already, just play it off of the contact. And that is just a really creative play to go aggressive as Cypher, but still be hidden like that little rat that we know. So that's it for B site. For cages, there's one cage I want to kind of show you people. It's a little bit on the right, so not in the middle like this, but a little further to the right. When you open this cage and you're on top of this box, you can actually see people from the back here, and you can one-tap them across the entire ledge. So if you're on time, you can also sit here, wait for the buy barrier to end, and the moment it ends, you basically open up the cage and you hold this angle. It's a super easy kill. They hardly ever see you. If they drone out or they jet dash up, you should just run. Do not try to be cocky. Do not try to go for a kill after that. It's a play. If the play fails, you move on. That's basically it for cages. I would say just be creative. You can do default cages like this. You can also do something in the trend of finding a lineup where a cage lands basically on there, on the corner, on the what is it, on the box. So the moment you open that, you basically block that view, and maybe even hide in this, wait for them to do it, and then peek out. You can always like go aggressive, hiding your cages on like weird angles and stuff. But I would suggest you try that out for yourself. I want you guys to be creative as well. This is just a Kickstarter for you to know everything you need to know to actually learn to play Cypher better. I have played this agent since beta, and this is just crucial info for you to know. So yeah, let's go on to the attacker side, yeah? Okay, first I'm going to show you a couple of tripwires. The ones that you can use are basically these. This tripwire is to actually counter anyone jumping over from this box. This makes the jump super hard, and it's a pixel jump. It's still possible, but it is going to be way harder, and people are not going to try it. They're just going to shoot the tripwire. So this is to hold anyone from pushing B, or the back tripwire for anyone pushing your flank. If you're actually going B and you want to hold your flank, cross the tripwires like this. Because if they think they're still able to jump over and they're going to try, or it's a jet that is using the hover, they can jump on the box and they can get caught into the second tripwire, and they will not expect it. For middle, to hold the flank, always use this one. It's in between the 4 and the 8, so aim in between the 4 and the 8 and just place it on this line. Don't use any other tripwires, otherwise you're going to give them way too much ground to have good positions for rotations and anything. Now they're always stuck behind that trip until they shoot it. So if you're going A and you want to hold just the A flank, do not use this tripwire. If you place it here, they can use this box. They can get on top and get over without you knowing. So place tripwires like this, and place the other tripwire up on here like this. This means that they are not able to see anyone or get a kill, but you would have to tell your team that they're able to sit behind this trip and just wait for someone to play pipes or the off angle, and they're going to wait for that kill. So keep in mind that you tell your team that they're able to get into that position. You might want to place it here otherwise. and that means only Jet is able to get over. But with some good movement, a Jet is definitely able to get over. But yeah, that's just the risk that we take. Jets are always able to get over tripwires, and that's just a known fact, right? So those are the tripwires to hold anyone pushing. Then I would love to show you guys some lurking. Okay, the little plays that you can do when lurking is when your team goes A, that you place this trip, you run back to B, and you place this trip. After that, you go back to middle and you wait in this position. Wait for the entire push to happen. Wait for people to rotate. When you think that people have rotated, you start shifting up. Go all the way through middle. Of course, I'm running right now, but you guys are shifting. Go all the way through, and get people in the flank. So that is one way to lurk. Or you can actually play it a little different. When you know that people are rotating fast, you can actually go all the way into B. The moment you hear people rotate off, you start shifting up. You basically wait in this position, wait for any audio cues. You can push one step further, wait here again. When you don't hear anything, you know that rotation has happened, you can actually just basically knife out, run all the way over their spawn. And the moment you're all the way through, you can actually tell your team to rotate, or you're going to commit and you're going to go all the way through in their spawn. Make sure you're able to get this peak. So that is for the A push lurk and mid lurk, basically. So what happens if your team goes towards B? What is a good lurk in that position? You basically shift up all the way and you just wait in this position right here. Wait for them to try and lurk. If you don't have a tripwire on A, you could actually play in this position and just wait for someone to peek it. Or you can actually just walk up all the way and get into this corner. This is a beautiful corner to wait for a lurk as well. The moment you hear the rotations, you can actually shift up right behind them and get the kill. So those are the lurks that you can actually get. It's not recommended to lurk all the way over A site. If you're going all the way over A site, it's a super long route and it's basically ruining the entire timing that you need to have. But yeah, that's it for this video. So if you learned anything, feel free to subscribe, and otherwise stay tuned to the next one. See you there.